The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our last webinar today, which is our third webinar for ADC week. So let's continue on with our slides. Okay, the title of our webinar today is New Features of ADC version 20.1. So this is the new version which is released just this week, and we will go through all of the new features for this new release. My name is Farshad Pourshak. I'm the local product manager for Canada and US of the Graitec products. So as I mentioned earlier, we had 6 webinars in total for this ADC week. So as you see, like we have already seen the first one, which was on AD to ADC. We also checked out the other one, and now today we are talking about ADC 20.1, and same thing for my French colleague Thierry, that it's going to be in French language today at this time, as you see here. So a note, like always, all of you will be on mute mode during this session, but don't hesitate to type in your questions when the session is ending, and we will have a question and answer session at the end. Okay, what are the new features of this new version? So I have listed some important of those here. So we will have cost estimation, pre-design feature. We have a new setting dialog. The connection wizard when you start the project has been changed and modified. We have a new type of loading, which is called percentage loading. Then we have a new tool, which is useful for check of missing welds. I will show you also the new beam links for new versions of other software that you can use our beam link. We have a new tool when you're exporting your connections from, for example, Advanced Steel or other software. So as you know, like previously, we were just limited to just one selection, but now we have a new tool, which is a bulk selection. So you will be able to select several connections. And finally, I'm showing you the new changes and improvements for licensing. Okay, so the first one is cost estimation. So this is a new feature in the new version. So actually, the software will also calculate the cost of the connection and the connection components actually based on your geometry. And you have the option to modify the unit values, unit cost values for each operation separately, and software will let you know how much this connection can cost for you. And we will have also these results. You can add them, as you see here, in our reports at the end using this custom option here. So you can either add them or remove them from your reports. So let's go on to ADC, and I will just show you this in the software. Okay, I have opened a new window in Advanced Design Connection. We are in a new version. And I have just selected a simple template for you to just show the cost estimate feature. So as you see here, I have already production cost value there in euros. So just to let you know, this value will follow your selected code setup there. So if you go back to the project and, for example, if you change your country or design code to, for example, US, and if I create project again, my values will be on US dollars. So, and as you see, for example, if I change something in my properties, if I go, for example, to my fin plate and change the thickness from 10 millimeters to 20, so you see the cost is changing. And as well, like for the other operations, for example, if I add the number of my stiffeners from 1 to 3, so as you see, like I have much more cost here based on those. So this is the new tool and how it works. Obviously, we have setting option here that you can actually change those values. So if you go to setting, to cost, here you can always change the values of each part. For example, the amount, like for steel parts, here we have like $2.5 per kilogram for all unspecified. But if you have different values for each of those material, you can always go there and add them from the material library, and you can define actually different unit prices for each material grade. So same thing for fillet welds, we have it here. Butt welds, you can put a value there. Bolt assemblies, hole drilling, which is a percentage of the bolt assembly value. And finally, we have also templates in case you have like a ready value or ready amounts of unit values for ready to build template. So this is how you can modify the unit cost for each component. And as well, if I want to show you this in the report, if you go to report and just create a report. So here, as you see, I have a cost estimation value option here. So by default, it's not active, but if I activate it and refresh, so I will have also that cost estimation table here. So as you see, these are the tables for steel, welds, bolts, and hole drilling and cost summary. Okay, very good. Let's go back to the next feature. Next new feature is pre-design. So it's a new feature, and actually using this new feature, software will let you know like and design, like pre-design your connection based on the capacity of members or resistance of the connecting members. So for example, you can ask the software to add bolts or plate thicknesses based on that resistance of that member. So currently it's in early stages of development, and right now it works for I-shaped cross sections and just these types of operations, but it will be expanded and extended later on for other type of sections and as well for other types of operations. So let's check this out as well in the software. Okay, to check the pre-design feature, I will just go forward and select probably a splice connection. So let's go on with this one, for example, and just click on create a project. Okay, so I have this here. So let's say I want the software to pre-design this splice connection for me based on the resistances of my members here. And it's easy, actually, you can just go on the operation and right click. Here you will have a pre-design option, or as well here in the right corner, you have the pre-design option that you can click. So let's click on this and see what's gonna happen. So as you see now, software kind of economized my section, my operation with the plate size and my bolt numbers. So I can actually repeat it for the other one. Just right click, pre-design for the bottom flange, and this one right click and pre-design. So there you go. So according to the software, this connection is okay based on the value that I have defined. But where you can define that value, how much percentages of resistance software is now considering to do the pre-design. So to answer that question, you can go to settings, and here in pre-design, we have the percentage. So currently, software is performing the pre-design based on 40% of my resistance for the beams. So in case if you want to see what's gonna change If I put higher value there, obviously we will end up with higher and stronger connection components. And here also you have the increments for rounding of plate dimensions, plate thickness, bolt spacing, and weld size. So these are the increments that software is using to select the best scenario for all of those components. Okay, let's do 80%, save it, and redo pre-design again and see what's going to happen. So right-click, pre-design, and there you go. Now it's designing them based on 80% of the resistance of each member. Same thing for the web, pardon me, bottom flange, and for the web. There you go. So now it's designing for 80% of that resistance. So as I mentioned, it's now for now it's just working for I sections and some types of operations. For example, I can also show it to you for other type of operation. Let's go with a fin plate like that. Okay, and if you go there, by default, pre-design will be 40%. But let's go and, for example, add a higher percentage. You can also put 120. Click save, and now do let's do a pre-design on the fin plate. So there you go. Now you see like you have much more bolts and probably thicker fin plate. We can also do it for stiffeners. And as you see, like I have thicker stiffeners because I am putting like something much more higher than my resistance for my I-beam. Okay, this was how this new pre-designed feature works. So the next option is the setting dialog. And I already showed this to you. So we have a special icon now to bring up this setting dialog box. And in this setting dialog box, you can always modify the cost values and as well all of the parameters related to pre-design new feature. Okay, new connection wizard. So the templates that we have when you start a project, the way that we display them, it's changed in the new version. So now it's grouped based on the behavior of the connection. So we have moment connections, shear connections, and truss connections like this. So if you remember before, it was a bit more complicated, the organization, but now, for example, if you want to create a template based on moment connections, you can just directly go there and select the moment connection or shear connection or even braces. Okay. Percentage loading. This is also another new option. So as you know, like we needed to always apply our direct forces, internal forces to the connection. Now we have a new option, which is percentage of loading. This percentage is, again, it's based on capacity of cross-section. And it's just a simple tool to use. So you can always also use the regular equilibrium in loads option. So just to show you how this works, I can go to the software and apply some forces based on percentage. Okay, let's check out this percentage loading tool in the software. Let's go on and select one of these connections here. For example, this one, create project. Okay, so if you go to load cases, as you remember, we can already directly apply our forces. based on kilonewton and kilonewton meter standard units. But if you click here, it's going to be changed to percentage. And here you can actually apply the percentage. So for example, here I can ask software to apply probably 40% of capacity of this beam member. And I can run my analysis. Okay, there you go. So this is nice. Like you can also use this option in combined with a pre-design option. For example, if I want to customize my connection for 40% of this load or capacity of this member, you can always go there and go to pre-design. Let's pre-design for 40%. Save. And we can always go there. Pre-design for stiffeners. Pre-design for fin plate. And pre-design for the other components. So now we are pre-designing our connection based on 40%. Okay. And now if I apply the same 40%, we should end up with something like very economical. So let's just run the calculation again. Okay. So as you see, like we have 68%, 75%, not too bad, applying 40%. So this was also how you can use these two features in combined to each other to probably economize your connection design. Okay, going back to our new features again, new tool, checking of missing welds. This is also very helpful for modeling. So as you know, sometimes you forget to define some welds somewhere in the geometry, and probably you can get instability. Solution will not be possible to run because of a rigid body motion or something like that. So using this new tool, you can actually pre-check if a weld is missing or no, and also using this one, you can add that weld automatically to your geometry. Let's check this out as well in the software. So let's say you want to use this check missing weld option in this model. What I'm going to do, I will just remove one of the welds here, and we will see how software will inform us about that missing weld. So let's say we go and remove this weld for my web here. So no weld anymore there. And let's try this new tool, which is called missing weld. So to call that, you can just go operations, right click, and here, check missing welds. You can click there, and there you go. You see, the software is informing me that there is a missing weld between my end plate and web of beam 1. And if you want to apply it, you can just put a check mark there. And you can select weld selected plates. There you go. So it's going to be added like that. So it's a very helpful tool actually for especially complicated connections. As I mentioned, when you forget to apply a weld, same thing can happen here. If I remove the welds for my stiffeners, let's say you have it here, you have defined it using a plate operation, but you have forgot to define the weld. The easiest way to put the welds back again can be, again, go there. Oh, pardon me, go there, and check missing welds. So now it's listing all of the missing welds for these stiffeners. You can select either to put all of them or just put the check mark for them to apply them one by one. So for example, if you just want to apply the welds for flanges, you can just go with flanges like this. So bottom flange, top flange, not the web. And like this. And if I click here, you see, now I have all of the welds connecting the stiffeners to the flanges. But since I have not selected that for the webs are empty. And the webs, they don't have any weld elements. So very nice option to use either to check some missing welds or even add some welds using this automatic operation. Okay, new beam links that we have for ADC 20.1, they are listed here. So as you see, like now we are covering most of the 2021 versions of softwares like Advanced Design or Advanced Steel and Revit. So all of these new supported versions are listed here. Okay, and now we have the option for bulk selection, as I mentioned earlier. So now you have the option to select several connections from probably Advanced Steel or other beam links to export them to Advanced Design connection. And this is going to be based on the Code Check Manager toolbox of IDEA Statica. So to just show you how this works, I can go to my Advanced Steel and show this to you directly in Advanced Steel. Okay. Okay, I have opened my Advanced Steel model to show you how we can use this new bulk selection operation. So you can import several connections at the same time. You can export them to Advanced Design connection. So for that, you can always go to IDEA Statica tab here, click on Code Check Manager. So the Code Check Manager window will be opened. Okay, there you go. You can click on bulk. And now you just need to select the objects. So for this case, I will use 3 connections. So let's go with this one first. Then the other one. And finally, let's select another connection as well. Let's go with this one. Okay, press enter. Yes. So here you assign the material. Let's go with this one, for example. So I will just assign this one, click OK. For the other one also, let's assign the same one. Just for an example, I click OK. And now if I go back to the window, yeah, you will see that these 3 connections, they have been created here. So you can actually go through them. You can open them. So there you go. This is the first one. And you can apply even your load cases from here. I can close this one. Let's check the other one. Yeah, this is the other one, as you see here. So again, if you want to apply your loads or import your loads from other software, you can do it here. And let's check out the last one. And this is the other one. Okay, so in case you already have your internal forces on all of those connections, just clicking this button, calculate all, software will calculate all of them for you, and you can have access to the results there. Okay, let's go back to our slides. So the new changes or improvements that we have in this new version is regarding the licensing. So you see some improvements in licensing. So you can actually automatically sign out after you close IDEA Statica. It launches 40% faster. And now we have more clear error messages, so you can understand what's wrong with the license. And finally, we have a new dialog as forgotten password, as you see here. So if you forget your password, you can just click there and you can create a new password for yourself. So just to give you more explanation on this, so as you know, like in version 20, to return the license to the pool, you needed to always sign out manually. So the license would be returned to the pool so other users can use it. But now it's going to be done automatically. As soon as you click close the software, the license will be automatically returned to the pool, unless if you have checked this check mark here, keep me sign in, then the software or the license will be still on your system, on your computer, and you can continue using it, for example, even if you are disconnected from internet. But if you remove this option or if you remove this check mark, as soon as you close the software, the license will be back to the license pool. Okay, great. So thanks for your time. This was all about the new features of version 20.1. Obviously, we have some other features, new features as well. But in this webinar, just to keep it short, I went through the important ones. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to type them down right now in the chat tool, or you can always send me an email, as you see my email down there. Okay, I will go through some questions. We don't have so many. Like I have one regarding the Tekla Structural Designer version 2020, and you're asking when it's going to be supported. Actually, I can check it right now for you. Just a moment, because the web page is being updated. So let's check it out if we have it. Okay, there you go. Just a moment. So actually, I can also share my screen with you so you can see the website. So in case if you want to see what kind of software like we have, it's always listed in Idea Aesthetica website in Beam Connect, Beam section, Beam links. So since you're asking for Tekla Structural Designer, here we have Tekla Structures, but I don't think we have the Structural Designer. Oh, sorry, we have it here, Tekla Structural Designer. And if you want to see which version we are supporting, I will just click on that. And yes, actually we have 2020 already, so you can always try it out. Next question is, can you export to Revit? You can import your models from Revit. So let's say you have your connection model in Revit, you can always import it. But currently, Idea Statica or like Advanced Design Connection, we are not exporting to Revit or other software. We are actually working on that, but it's mostly from Autodesk side. So we need to also create some links on Autodesk side to send our models from Advanced Design Connection to Autodesk products like Revit or Advanced Steel. But as I mentioned, the link for now is just one-sided. So you can always send your models to Advanced Design Connection. And for now, it's not possible to export them. And I have another comment which says, check missing weld is excellent tool. Yes, it is a very good tool. Like I have used it, especially when you have sometimes like tricky points or tricky geometry that you cannot define the weld manually, you can use that tool and it's going to be automatically adding that special weld in that specific place. So it is a very helpful tool. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So I hope you enjoyed this ADC week, all of the presentations. And in case, again, if you have any other questions, you have my email. So I wish you a good weekend and good afternoon for the people in Europe, and a good day for people in North America. Thank you very much, and bye.